Hey everybody, welcome to today's video. Please take a minute and hit that thumbs up, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button and click that notification bell so you're notified of any future videos that we do. The Riverside triple homicide case. The former Virginia police officer who turned catfish and drove across the country to kidnap a child and to kill her family. The family of the victims comes forward and makes a statement to the press. They also have a message for anyone with children, which we will get to in just a moment. The Riverside homicide case is a very insane but real reminder that we all need to talk to our children and let them know they need to be so careful when they are online and who they are interacting with. People can pretend to be anyone online, and everyone's children who have access to the internet are at risk of something like this happening. This could happen to anyone, and unfortunately, this is a predator that you cannot see. These predators can get your children, and they can do it right from the safety of your own home. Please watch this presser that the family wanted to release and take it to heart. Talk to your kids. This could happen to anyone. It is so scary, but it's not a predator that you can fight off. It's not a predator that you can see. It is a predator that sits in your living room, your dining room, your children's room, wherever the computer is. We have to monitor who our kids are interacting with.
Riverside Police Department holding a news conference right now on that deadly catfishing case that left 4 people dead, including the suspect.
Investigators say the sheriff's deputy met that teenage girl online and traveled to California from Virginia. Family members are speaking now. Let's listen in.
Good morning, and thank you for everyone for being here today. My family and I truly appreciate the love and the compassion that we have received thus far in this trying time. To our neighbors, our friends, and our family members, we thank you from the bottom of our hearts for the outpouring of well wishes. We have heard all of you, and we appreciate you more than you will ever know. Nobody could imagine this crime happening to my family, to our family, especially it just being one day after Thanksgiving. It was just a few days ago that we all celebrated together that Thanksgiving of blessing and gratefulness. And we recounted many of those blessings that we had in our lives together on that day. We had a family debate, and it got heated on if the brownies my mom made should be frosted with sprinkles or just left plain. It seemed silly at the time, but that's a conversation and a debate that will forever resonate in my heart. Little did I know on that day that would be the last time that my husband and I would see my parents and my sister again. The next day, while we were out buying Christmas lights for our home, I received a phone call from my parents' neighbor of 22 years. They were best friends. They looked out for each other. She called to tell us that we needed to get there as soon as we could because my parents' house was on fire. This is the home that my sister and I grew up in since we were little. I couldn't get there fast enough. We left everything in the shopping cart at the store and took off. When I had arrived at my house, we had learned that something more tragic had happened. In a time where communities are afraid to report strange sightings, the loving neighbors on my parents' street saw an unfamiliar car and they immediately reported it to authorities. Ultimately, this is our community, and we need to look out and care for one another. Making that call from that neighbor saved my niece's life, and that neighbor is a hero in our eyes. If something like this horrific tragedy can happen here in our neighborhood, in our community, it can happen anywhere. Sadly, we were too late to save my dad, Mark, my mom, Sherry, and my youngest sister, Brooke, from that vicious crime. They are forever in my heart, and I miss them deeply. In this tragic moment of our family, our grief, we hope some good will come from this. Parents, please know your child's online activity. Ask questions about what they are doing and whom they are talking to. Anybody can say they're someone else, and you could be in this situation, which I do not want for the world. This horrific event started with an inappropriate online romance between a predator and a child. We have some solace that this person will never harm anyone again, especially a minor. But we also want to make it very clear that we do not applaud his death. This was an adult that traveled across the country to kidnap a 15-year-old girl, my niece, our family member, with the idea to kidnap her and kill and devastate our family. He took an oath to protect, and yet he failed to do so. Instead, he preyed on the most vulnerable. When you hear the term catfishing, you think of a long-running dating show or series about a national sports figure, both glamorizing and sensationalizing online relationships. However, in this instance, catfishing led to the deaths of the three most important people in my life: my dad, my mom, and my sister. Please, parents, guardians, when you are talking to your children about the dangers of their online actions, please use us as a reference. Tell our story to help your parenting, not out of fear, but out of example of something that did happen. My sister Brooke was a loving single mom who did her best to raise her two teenage daughters in a loving way. She supported them in their school endeavors and enjoyed watching color guard performances and choir concerts for both of her children. My sister was an avid collector of the famous Starbucks tumblers. Every release day, I would get a text at 4 a.m. from her, wondering why I wasn't waiting in line with her to pick up the newest release. My dad, Mark, the silly old man that I always reference him to be, was a soft-spoken and humble man who would go out of his way to help a friend or stranger in need. He was known on their street as the one to depend on if anyone needed anything. In 1993, his love for coaching high school athletes began at La Sierra High School, where I had the privilege and the honor of not only calling him dad, but also coach, as he coached all 4 years of my soccer team. He continued coaching high school sports at many schools in Riverside County and ultimately found his home at Arlington High School, coaching the softball and the baseball teams. He was a man with a big and caring heart who unselfishly gave to his student athletes. My mom, Sherry, the matriarch of our family, with the biggest giving heart imaginable, did anything and everything for everyone and never needed or wanted anything in return. She loved my sister and I, along with her 4 granddaughters, with every ounce of her being. She enjoyed baking with us, and the highlight of the year was baking and decorating Christmas cookies. And that is a tradition that I will carry on as we go forward. My mom always said that God puts people into your life for a reason. And in this time of tragedy, he has done just that. He has brought so many great people into our lives and to help us navigate through this terrible ordeal. We are so amazed and overwhelmed and grateful for the amount of affection and support from friends and strangers. Without this assistance, we would be lost. My husband and I are very grateful to everyone who has reached out. We are just ordinary people living with an extraordinary circumstance. There are no words for the gratitude we feel for the outpouring of support that we have received, and I know that we will continue to receive. For my 2 young nieces who are now left motherless, we hope that this community can wrap your arms around them and lift them up. They have the most difficult journey ahead, as they are minors and they don't understand everything that has happened. We hope and we ask that this community continue to shelter them, protect them, and wrap them in their arms and continue to lift them up. Please positively support them. We have started a GoFundMe page in honor of my parents and my sister, Winnick Family Fund, in which it will be used to help my nieces, my sister's 2 children, live their best life and start a college savings. Thank you to those that have already donated and to those that will. We are eternally grateful. Thank you for giving up your time this morning to be here and to support us and honor the lives of my mom, my dad, and my sister. They lived and loved selflessly. And in the words of my favorite New Kids on the Block boy bander, Donnie Wahlberg. Spread love, and love will spread. Thank you.